This session is about conscious time. We've got so much to cover in so little time. You know, it's really easy to use time as a scarce commodity. And yet, as you know, we're all given the same 24 hours in a day. So it's not something that we can save. It's only something that we can invest. And using your time consciously is what this paraliminal session is all about. So let's talk about the concept of time. You know, what we're really interested in doing with our look at time is, number one, eliminating all of those ways in which we put ourselves as a victim to time. If you say, I'm too busy, I don't have any time. The moment that you say, I don't have any time, guess what? Your mind will busily look for proof to show that that's the case. If instead you say, I'm going to focus my time on this activity because this is really important to me, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get it done in the time that I have set aside for it. So what do we start looking for? Little hacks that are going to create efficiencies, ways in which we can maintain our focus instead of getting distracted, being able to put the rest of the world at bay so that we can focus on what's truly meaningful and valuable to us. And you may have heard the idea that if you want to get something done, talk to a really busy person. Now, if you ask a busy person, could you do this? And they're effective at using their time, they'd say, oh, yeah, I can do it. I'll just add it to what I'm doing right now. And somehow they find time. Give a person a task in a certain amount of time, and what's been shown is that the task will expand to fill the available time. Now, this is all suggestive of the fact that the way in which time works for us is our conscious intention and use of it. Are you a victim, or are you one who is choosing to intentionally apply your life energy to what it is that you want to accomplish? And it could be that you're going to invest time in a long-range project, a goal that you would like to see happen. Remodeling of your home, repairing of an automobile, looking at your finances and budgeting. There's so many different ways that you can invest your time to have a bigger return on the energy that you expend. Another way you could think about time is time that you give away. Someone once said, if you want more time, give more of your time. Well, that's really an interesting idea. If you want more money, give more of your money. Put yourself in the flow of time and see how you can give time well into the world. Another thing that we could do with time is we could allocate our time most effectively to whatever it is we're intending to accomplish today. That's why we say a successful life is a series of successful years. A successful year is a series of successful months. A successful month, series of successful weeks, days, hours, minutes. So is this day successful for you? It will come down to how successfully you intentionally use the time that you have. Now, money you can save. If you get a certain amount of money, then you can allocate your money to savings, long-term savings, short-term savings, immediate expenses, variable expenses, and so on. But not so with time. You cannot save time. Now, it's in our language, oh, I'm saving time, or, I need to save some time in order to. No, you can only spend your time, and you'll either spend it effectively or not. Will you look for efficiencies, little hacks that can save a lot of time? Now, when they say save time, it just means you're going to spend less of your time attempting to get that thing done. But as soon as you say, I don't have any time, be careful about the words that you speak. Because what we're really interested in doing is saying, on this day, I'm going to invest my life energy to create my world as I choose to live in it. I think that there's really three most valuable resources: time, health, and love. These are three things you can't buy. So are you going to unconditionally love the life that you're living? Will you use this day to increase or better the health and strength of your life? Will you choose consciously to use your time today? Conscious time. Now, there are a couple of other ideas I'd like to share with you. I wrote this idea down. When our first son, we were new time parents, my wife and I had this first son of ours, and very bright kid, and every once in a while he'd say, "I'm bored." You know, he's got all these toys, he's got this beautiful world around him, you know, he's got loving parents that are supporting him. Bored. Bored, what does that mean? I mean, neither my wife or I could really get that. You know, what does boredom mean to him? And what we recognized by observation is that he didn't know how to change his state. He didn't know that he could redirect his mind and body to shift out of an emotion that wasn't getting him where he wanted to go. He didn't know how to redirect his thoughts because his thoughts were looping around something that wasn't as productive as he would like it to be. So we began to show him how to use his mind, how to consciously determine how he would like to spend his time today. And that's one of the things that I have never been able to say is that I'm bored. Even when standing in a line, if you could be around my wife, you would see she instantly has a community and an audience, and it's a moment of dropping in where she is having a deep conversation with somebody in a grocery line. There's never a reason to be bored. There's always a way to use time. Now, many of us have this to keep ourselves occupied. But even in that, if what you're able to do is pick up your mobile phone while you have a couple of minutes and then use what my colleague Vera Birkenbiel referred to as piggy bank time, little moments between commercial breaks, while we're waiting in a line, while other things are happening that you could invest or do. Could you listen to something that would advance your life and your skills? Could you use an app that would help you become a bit more organized? Can you read about some life hacks in an area of your life where you would like to be able to free up more of your available time? That's consciously and intentionally using this day, this minute. This minute successfully applied is going to make all the rest of your life a little bit better. And that's why I say no matter what happens today, tomorrow can be better. And every day and in every way I'm getting better and better was a phrase back in the 1920s by Émile Coué. Every day and in every way I'm getting better and better. What does that mean in terms of how you're using your time today? One of the things that I've used from the beginning of my business career is something called a day planner. You know, I write down what my most important tasks are today. I was on a podcast recently and the person said, you know, people do an A, B, and C list. Like, here are my A priorities, here are my B priorities, here are my C priorities. I said, yeah, you can eliminate the C priorities. You're not going to get to them. He said, yeah, who wants to live a C life? I thought, okay, that's an interesting one. And he said, I set my top 3 priorities, my A1, A2, and A3 priorities. Anybody who thinks that they can get to more than 3 things, important things in a day, they're fooling themselves. And I thought, it's an interesting concept. I will tend to do 5 to 7. And although I might not get all of those done in a single day, I now know what's risen to my priority list. So I'll keep a B list, which is something of a catalog of the things I do want to get to and I'm really committed to getting to. And then I'll have my A list, which is how I'm going to manage today and this week. If you're not currently looking at a time management system or a priority management system or a day planning system, please do look into it and begin applying this conscious time paraliminal to the consciousness that you have about making this day the fullest possible expression of the true value and worth of this life. Create it as you choose to live it. Thanks so much for being a part of this. So glad to have you on these sessions each day. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful one. And since it is a holiday, Independence Day, keep in mind what it means to be truly free to decide how you use your time.